common one that affects Kenyans, especially probably guys who are now getting to their 40s, at a later age, because I know that's when people have like issues on their foot. Is that right? Maybe you can educate me, actually. What's the...
Not really. You're very, very wrong.
Okay.
If you look at the clients who come into my clinic, we are looking at 3 months to 100 years. Yeah.
Oh, so it's for everybody. It's multi-generational.
Yeah. Anybody can have a foot. Anybody who has a foot is prone to getting a foot problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So it ranges. So I cannot say this is my most common client, but obviously there are those ones who are affected more. Yeah. The ones who give me more work. Yeah. So we're looking at if you're looking at guys who are above 40 and above, we're obviously looking at people like who get arthritis. People who are overweight maybe will develop a lot of arthritis due to joint problems. People with chronic illnesses like diabetes, heart problems, circulation issues. All those ones impact the feet. Yeah. Then sports people. Yeah. So it's just a multitude.
Yeah, and how has the field of a podiatrist evolved over the years? Because I'm sure you guys you're in a now very advanced stage in this field generally. How has it evolved in this country?
Now, in this country, I will not say much about podiatry in this country, simply because we are about 5 of us in the whole country.
No way.
4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah, we're very few.
That's interesting.
And I remember, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it anyway. When I first came back to Kenya, way back when, and I didn't know where to start as a podiatrist, but I knew I always wanted to come back to my country because I studied in the UK. And I thought, my people have feet. It's not only for, the Britons or whatever. So I came back and I approached the medical board and I was like, right, where do I start? Do you know what they said? They said, sasa wewe, umesoma maneno ya wazungu, utatibu nani?
Aye.
Now, those exact words. Okay?
Wow.
So, and I asked this guy, don't you have feet? So I was so discouraged. The next week, I got on a flight and went back to the UK. I stayed for 2 weeks. Then I thought, Kenya is my country. People have feet. So I came back.
Yeah.
And I struggled for years, but now I cannot complain. But so talking about how the field of podiatry has developed in Kenya, obviously now people are more aware. Yeah, and then the internet has come to help, of course, Google, Dr. Google and stuff, because you'll Google foot problems and you'll get podiatrist. You then Google podiatrist and somebody will come up. Yeah, so we're getting there. People are becoming a bit more knowledgeable. What my hope is that, more and more Kenyans will go out there and study. I know there are Kenyans out there practicing podiatry elsewhere.
Okay.
But I hope that they will, stream into the country.
Yeah. What are some of those foot issues that are specific to Kenyans based on our lifestyle? For example, the terrain, you know what I mean? Maybe our, I don't want to say culture, but like, let me just focus on those ones. Our lifestyle especially, and the terrain. What's so common? What are those common foot issues that you've noticed, like a pattern?
Right. If I say, okay, Kenyans now, we're not back in the day, where like we never used to wear shoes. We do wear shoes a lot.
Of course,
and maybe that's, maybe, I don't know where you're going with this conversation in terms of, people wearing shoes, but a lot of people do wear shoes now. So the problem
it's not even about shoes, just a general conversation, just general question.
But so it's the same problems across the board, Europe, America, and here, but maybe here, more to do with like jiggers and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm sure you've seen that with like the hardy trust and stuff like that. So people are walking where animals live. So, and then they pick up the jigger infestation.
Yeah.
And that's quite a big thing. And it can be quite disfiguring. It really disfigures the feet. And you find that the feet are so disfigured. Even wearing shoes is a problem. Yeah. So I would say that's a unique sort of problem that we see here in this country.
Yeah.
So interesting about the jiggers thing. I once had jiggers when I was pretty young. We traveled up country and then we started school there, and then I got those things, man. You're itching your feet, and then later on is when we knew that they're jiggers.
Yeah, so, I got one too way back
and
when
my
I was
mom used to plug them with like a safety pin and then she'd open up the hole and put some paraffin, and then they would come out.
Yeah.
So I do have an experience with jiggers. It's crazy.
Me too,
But I'm a recently diagnosed diabetic. I think this is my 6th month now.
Okay.
I was not aware, but I had a problem. Every day I used to wake up in the morning, I could not put my feet on the ground. I couldn't walk to the washroom, even just to relieve myself. I was in pain, like I couldn't move. I had to even stop going to the gym because my instructor wasn't understanding what's going on. And then later on, I went and I was told that I have something called plantar fasciitis. I'd like you to expound on that for people, because I also have a few people in my family who've experienced that, and people who are also experiencing it right now. They don't know what's going on. Why do they have the pain, the pricking pain under their feet?
Okay, that's actually a very good topic. Yeah, plantar fasciitis is one of the most common problems that I see in my clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, and what happens, or it's an issue of wearing the wrong shoe design for your foot and the activity that you're doing. That is the main problem.
Okay.
So you'll find somebody wearing doll shoes. I'm sure we all know what doll shoes are.
Yeah.
And gymming in doll shoes or something that looks like that. I mean, you need specialized shoes for some of the activities that you do, you know? Like if you spend a lot of time in flat shoes and you're a very busy person up and down, or you're a weighty person, or you're pregnant, you're very likely to develop plantar fasciitis. Yeah, so it's a very common problem that we do.
You said flat shoes?
Yes, very flat shoes.
So are flat shoes good for the gym?
No, it's not good for the gym. When I say flat shoes, I don't mean high heels, because people often go to the hospital.
About flat soles, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there's a difference between flat shoes and supported shoes.
Okay.
So the ideal shoes are supported shoes, not flat shoes. If you look at your shoe and it's the same height all across, that's a flat shoe. But if it's raised in the arc area, that is a supported shoe. There's a difference.
So what's good for the squats?
A raised shoe.
And there's a reason I'm asking you.
No, it is not the same across the board, okay?
Yeah.
There's no one shoe that I'll say, this is the shoe for everybody.
Right.
Yeah? It depends on the shape, because we all don't have the same
kind
foot
of
shape.
foot.
Yeah? We also don't all carry the same weight.
Yeah.
Our activity levels are not the same.
Yeah.
We don't have the same chronic illnesses.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's why you cannot say, okay, I have plantar fasciitis. Kunywa ida utapona. It's not like that. It's a whole multitude of things. And that's why it's one of the most common, I think it's basically one of the most common foot conditions. And it's very, very, if you go online and you Google plantar fasciitis, you'll find communities of millions of people suffering from this problem.
Really?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, I've tried this, it doesn't work. I've tried this, it doesn't work. Oh, I've suffered for 10 years. I've suffered for 15 years. But that's because there's no one treatment that fits everybody.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that you have to combine. Yeah. So you need to be visiting a healthcare professional who is still down and take a detailed, and I mean a detailed history of everything, your weight, your chronic illnesses, the shoes you wear, what do you do, what do you eat, what age are you, then come up with a treatment plan for you. Okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but shoes is the main cause. Wearing the wrong kind of shoes for your foot type during activity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually quite
That's
interesting.
interesting,
Yeah, because I go to the gym, you see people walking there fine, and then they leave there limping, and they're always like, my feet hurt, my feet hurt. So what shoes would you recommend for people, starting to work out?
Right. Now, if most of the times, if you're looking at, if you go online and you Google gym plan and whatever, and there's always a disclaimer somewhere at the end there that says, see your healthcare somebody, or consult your physician before you start doing some of these things, and they should actually write there, see a podiatrist to get your feet checked so that you can get advice. Because again, one of the most one of the things that I see commonly in my clinic is people like, oh, my feet really hurt, I started the gym but I've had to stop because every time I walk out, like for a day or two after, my feet are on fire, I'm in so much pain. And again, we go back to the issue of wearing the correct shoes for your foot type.
Right.
Yeah. So we've got flat shoes, and there are people who can comfortably wear the flat shoes that I said.
Yo, let me tell you, my gym shoes are freaking flat, very flat. Even my boy's like, yo, Kev, this is a bit too much. But I'm like, and I tell him like, yo, bro,
they're like a
I'm
boot.
comfortable.
They're like a boot.
Yeah, it's like, fam, they're like slippers. Not even a boot. Yeah, but the thing is, you know what? I love it that you're here. So my feet are very flat. Forget even about the shoes. Yeah, like me, I'm one of those people who I don't even have those things over here.
Yeah.
So am I okay with the flat shoes then?
You see, flat feet is, you can have what we call a true flat foot.
I actually have one.
Yeah, and then you have a functional flat foot. So,
and that one too.
Yeah, no, you don't. You either have one or the other.
I do.
So what it is, if you have a flat foot that's like, it's hard, it's firm, it doesn't move. It's just like, you can hear this person coming from elsewhere, slapping the ground. Yeah, it's completely flat. It doesn't move. Those people do very well in very flat shoes because the bones don't move. Okay? But if you're let's say you lift your foot off the ground and you have an arch. You then put your foot and the arch disappears. Those are the people who are prone to getting problems.
Okay.
What we call a functional flat foot.
Right.
It moves too much. What we call the pronation, which is the movement from the height of the arch to collapsing, that motion is what is damaging.
Right.
Yeah. So it depends on what kind of a flat foot you have. So there are people who comfortably wear very flat shoes. Yeah. And it's not a problem.
So may I ask? Okay, because so fine. On the still on the topic of plantar fasciitis. So what really happens to the foot that causes it? Because I was told I was a bit weighty. Yes. It could have been a problem. I was carrying heavy things. Gas cylinders, blah blah blah, transporting them from side to side. So what happens to the foot? What causes that pain? Where does this pain come from?
Okay, you have a muscle, let me call it a muscle, on the foot that's called the plantar fascia muscle. This muscle originates from the 5 toes. It joins into one band that then inserts into the heel.
Yes.
Okay, this is the muscle that gives you the arc, the much coveted arc.
Right.
Yeah. So what happens is if you're weighty, or you strain that muscle, it's like let me call it like an elastic band. It overstretches. It then starts tearing away from the point of insertion, which is the heel, because that's where it inserts. So that process where it tears away from the point of insertion, now the foot gets inflamed around there. And it's in the middle of the heel, around there. And that's where the pain comes from.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an inflammation thing. It's basically an injury.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it repairable?
Yes, it is curable. You can treat it. Yeah, it's an injury at the end of the day. The problem why plantar fasciitis is so hard to heal, as I said, it's because there are so many variables, like I mentioned before. And if you have an injury, if you me on the mkono, what do? You'll hold it up and rest it. Then it heals, right? The feet you wake up every day and walk. Are you resting your feet?
No,
you don't have enough time to rest your feet to allow the body to heal itself. This is the main issue with plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
You've got to find a way to rest your feet, but while still walking.
Let me just ask one more question. Sorry, guys. I don't want to just deal with plantar fasciitis.
Do you think?
So, okay, fine. So I got a sole. I was a doctor gave me the sole at the Matara hospital. I visited then. She gave me a sole, and I also bought the roller. And I was rolling my feet on it. Sometimes I could ice it, bring it out, put my foot on it, and I'm not in pain now. But my only worry is, will I get that pain again? Like, is it going to go back? Because now I'm in no pain. It started on my right foot, went to my left foot.
Yeah.
So I had 2 feet. I had to use crutches.
Yeah.
What?
To walk. Yes. I couldn't walk. I couldn't move.
Damn.
I had to use crutches because I couldn't put my foot down.
Yeah, you can get disabled.
Yeah.
Actually.
So I had to use a crutch. So now I feel like I am in no pain. It's been 2 months of no pain. I actually didn't even notice until I was like, oh my God, I don't have pain anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm worried. Is it going to go back? Like if I go back to exercising and going to the gym and lifting weights and, doing the skipping, will a patient get the pain back?
You can get the pain back, yes.
Oh, no.
Okay. First of all, it takes about 6 months to cure an uncomplicated case of plantar fasciitis. For it to, the pain may disappear after a month or so, but curing it completely takes about 6 months. Fine, you're healed, you go back to the gym, you wear the wrong shoes again, you do the same activities, you will get plantar fasciitis again. And the more it comes back, the harder it is to treat each time because you start getting scar tissue. Yeah, in that area. Yes, you can get plantar fasciitis again. So now you've got to now develop the good habits. I'm sure, I don't know, with your treatment, you got the education on where has your plantar fasciitis come from, and then you've looked back and started, oh yeah, it's here. So you change those bad habits that cause the plantar fasciitis. Yeah.
All right.
So
Thank you.
That thing over to when you get home, you're tired and you just want to put your feet up. Just put them up there for an hour or two. Does it help just to relax the feet for a couple of hours?
Of course, it's relaxing, but that's a totally different problem. Yeah, probably what you're talking about is all of us or most of us at around 3 o'clock, your feet will be a bit swollen. Yeah, especially if you do a job where you sit down a lot or stand a lot in one position. So by the time you get home, you're like, oh my God, my feet, they'll be slightly swollen. You put them up, the blood flow again, the swelling reduces and you feel better.
It happens to me a lot because I DJ and in some events I'll be standing for several hours, like at a go. And if I'm wearing the wrong shoe, right now I know which shoes I should wear. If I'm wearing the wrong shoe that day, I'll suffer that night and the next day. Yeah. So I always make sure I have a particular set of shoes. I have 3 sneakers which I will always be wearing. Yeah. Because I'll be standing for hours. Yeah. So it's also something you realize with your body with time.
Yeah. And sneakers, most sneakers are very comfortable because they tend to be made for support.
Right.
Sports shoes are made for support, so they give you extra support. So you'll always find that you're better off in sneakers than with regular fashion shoes.
Yeah. Dress shoes. Eh?
Also, let me just take you back a little bit on the point of the tired feet and you DJing. So you're standing a lot in one position or, in one area. Your blood pools. And then going back up is a problem because going back up depends on muscle movement, the calf muscle pump, which is the maskwembe. That is what pushes the blood back up. So if you're in one position for long, your feet swell. Then eventually, like what happens is years of cumulative damage. You then develop varicose veins problems and you can get wounds eventually. Wounds that are a nightmare to heal and to treat.
So dancing while DJing is recommended?
Yes, it is. Activity. Even for those people who sit in the office for long, it's like every hour, put a timer, stand up at the end of the hour, move around, then sit down, Just don't sit. Because I often see like judges, teachers, shopkeepers, policemen. These are my regular clients for like wounds that are caused by varicose veins or vein issues. So it's very, very important.
What should parents look out for when it comes to their children's foot development?
Okay.
Just to make sure that the children's feet are healthy.
Yeah. So what is, in the olden days, and these are my days, children never used to be put in fashion shoes. Okay, I remember when we were growing up, we had shoes that were called Startride that, it just looked like a ball. Yeah. But now.
Startride?
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys are young. You wouldn't.
Never heard of it.
you wouldn't know about
Star Trek. I know Star Trek.
But those shoes were just like, they were not restrictive shoes. Yeah. So they allowed your feet to develop in a nice way and, they wouldn't, they're not tight. Right. Yeah. But now, if you look at the children's shoes that are around, have you seen little girls in fashion shoes?
Yeah.
It's annoying. I mean, they get problems. And then babies are put in shoes as soon as they start, crawling or walking. Yeah. And then the shoes, nobody's measuring. And the shoes are, folding the toes. Then babies, I'm seeing young kids with like ingrown toenails or they've developed bunions, which are deformities that are caused maybe sometimes by wearing the wrong shoes. So parents out there, be very careful on what shoes your kids wear. Children do not need fashion footwear. They do not. Little girls do not need high heels. And I will repeat, little girls do not need high heels.
Yeah,
repertoire.
Yes.
I feel like some
glad that you said that. Okay, I didn't know anything about the problem, but it looks off.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing to the baby? Like,
So the kids form the bunions. That's what you call the bunions.
They can't form bunions from wearing tight shoes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if then, because remember, children's feet, if you look at an X-ray of a baby, it looks like there's empty spaces there. Oh my God, what's going on here? It's because the feet are like cartilage. The bones have not yet solidified. Your feet actually finish developing when you're about 22 years old.
Oh, is it?
Okay?
Really?
So in the early ages, if you put your baby in very tight shoes, what are you going to do? Are you not going to deform the foot?
I can
you
imagine.
are. Yeah. So you've got to be very careful. Parents out there, please be thoughtful when you're doing these things. Do not indulge your kids like that.
It's so sad. Okay, now, general question. Somebody's listening to us right now. What should I look out for when it comes to my foot health that now is going to lead me to visiting how do you call it? A podiatrist.
Podiatrist.
Yeah, just general things. I'm just saying to okay, guess I need to call Dr. Kariuki. What are some of the signs that, should be like a red flag? Whatever.
Okay. One of the people who, like I always say, you should always visit a podiatrist whether you have a problem or not, are diabetics. Yeah, because diabetics get a lot of foot problems. This is because of what's going on in their body. They can get poor circulation, and also their nerves may stop working such that they've got numb feet. So they walk around maybe barefoot or something, they get an injury and they will not realize. Like recently I had a guy who walked into my office, his feet were so swollen, or one foot was swollen and it was smelling, his sugars were out of control, he's coughing, he was a very sick guy. And I removed Sumari from his heel. Did he know it was there? No. Why? Because the diabetes has damaged his nerves.
He can feel it.
He can feel it. Yeah. And a lot of people don't even realize. Sometimes I'm the first person to pick up the diabetes. They don't know that they have it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they don't know that they have it. So if you're a diabetic, please make sure that you have an annual foot check, because it can save your life. Because people die from getting amputations, diabetics. Yeah, they go into septicemia, you get a wound and, you get an infection and you die.
Septic, yeah.
And you die. And it never starts as something big. Never. It's not you've been cut with a panga. It's always the tiniest. Even a scratch from the shoe can cause a problem. Yeah. So I always say, if you're a diabetic out there, please get your foot checked at least once a year by a professional.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then if you have like ingrown toenails, I visit a salon and I'm sitting there, I'm having my hair done, somebody's having a pedicure, they're digging out the nails and the client is like, pain, you know, and I never say anything. But then I know, like, ingrown toenails do not suffer out there, you know, and a pedicurist out there do a very good job.
Yeah.
But at some point, it gets too bad. Where the patient even is bleeding, you know, the thing that the nail is just, the toe is swollen, it's just smelling and stuff like that. There is a simple procedure that we can do in the office. It's a walk-in, walk-out procedure. Within 15 minutes, you're done for a permanent resolution. Do not suffer in silence, especially men, you know. Because people come, I've been suffering for 10 years, I've been suffering for 8 years. You don't need to suffer. Yeah. So things like that. Then heel pain, any pain in the foot, basically, any skin conditions. And then smelly feet. Smelly feet is a disease. It is treatable.
I wanted to ask about that because I know there's a fungal infection sometimes where you in between your toenails. Maybe if you didn't dry your feet and then you put on socks, or you put on socks that are wet, you get the the whitish thing in between your toes.
Yes.
But for some people, they don't really have that whitish. It's just smelly feet.
Yeah.
What's the issue there?
Yeah. What happens is fungus here is the primary problem. It's fungus on sweaty feet. Yeah, so the fungus makes the skin soft. Then bacteria come in as an opportunistic infection to feed on this soft skin. You then get the smell from there, that eggy, rotten, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So when you're treating this, it's an infection that we can treat, and I can guarantee you the smell will be gone within a week or 2 weeks of starting the treatment. The treatment takes about 6 weeks, but within a week of having seen now the podiatrist or whoever, the smell should be gone. As we treat people out there, do not suffer in silence. It's an embarrassing problem, but it is treatable because people think it's a hygiene issue. It's not necessarily a hygiene issue. If you sweat a lot, you're prone to getting that smelly feet. Because fungus will come in to infect those feet that sweat quite a bit. So people don't suffer in silence.
What about these clicking sounds, like when you're walking and your bones are like, guys who cannot even tiptoe or hide anything. We know you're going to the fridge. We know you're going to the fridge, man. It's midnight. So those sounds, for the cracking bone sounds when you're walking, what causes that?
It's if I say air escaping from the joint, so it's not necessarily anything. It's not. There are people who are just prone to that, depending on how their joints move. And then if you do an activity sometimes that you're not used to doing, like you go to a gym, you squat,
like when you crack your knuckles.
So, and it's not necessarily something that's going to cause problems unless it's accompanied by pain. And in fact, most of the times, the cracking is never ever
You're just
accompanied by
aging.
pain.
I know, bro. It hurts. I know.
Because I do have those cracking sounds. But when I go to the gym and I do exercise they disappear.
Because now you're used to doing that
I'm used to the exercise. But if I quit, then it comes back.
So you can't creak purple again.
I can't.
It will be like JP, we know it's you, man.
I just say in advance, guys, I'm going to the fridge.
Yo, Doc, let me ask you, by the way, what's the one thing somebody can do to fix their knee pain? It's not like they have an injury. It's just that, sometimes you're squatting, especially in the gym, that it just kind of feels off on the staircase. Anything, any home remedies, any movement I can do?
Right, knee pain. Again, knee pain is a very super wide topic because there's so many. Again, like heel pain, there's so many variables. Weight, exercise, shoes, activities and stuff like that. But you will find as you get older, you are prone to getting knee pain. Because things like collagen and stuff like that and our diets come into play. Now, first of all, nowadays, we don't even absorb minerals how we are really supposed to. And as you get older, it's just what it is. And knees carry a lot of weight. So a lot of the times you get overuse injuries. Then if you go to the gym, you're squatting, your body is not used to carrying, or your knees are not used to carrying, 100 kgs. You're doing a 100 kg squat. You don't walk around with 100 kgs, do you? So at that point, if you're not wearing supportive shoes or you don't strap your knees.
Correct. Those knee straps are very important.
You will develop knee pain.
Then
if you're doing high impact exercise where you're jumping up and down on a hard floor or skipping without shoes on a concrete floor, you will impact the knees because you're putting pressure on the knees because there's no shock absorption. So how do you avoid knee pain? By wearing the correct shoes, maybe changing your activities. We can't all be active to the same
Working
level.
on your weight, maybe.
And lose weight and stuff like that. For women who are perimenopausal and menopausal, again, these women are very, very prone to to knee pain. These are the women who will come and they're like, oh, I'm in so much knee pain. You're doing x-rays. There's nothing there. But they're like, but I am in pain. And I went through the same thing. And I didn't realize, as much as I do what I do, that it was perimenopause that was disturbing me, you know.
So what did you do to fix that?
I just started eating well and balanced my hormones. I'd always go to the gym anyway. It wasn't an issue, you know, but I'm waking up one day and I'm like, oh my God, why am I in so much pain? And I went to my doctor and my doctor was like, I don't know, you know. But after reading about it, was, oh my God, it's perimenopause. So it is our hormones come into play. Yeah, so you can go and see your hormone doctor and they will do some blood tests and they'll see which hormones are need regulating and they can do something for you. Women, don't suffer in silence. It can be very painful. Yeah.
Does the pain go to the back as well?
Yes, you can get it in any joint.
So that's also like perimenopausal as well.
Even
back
in
pain.
Yeah, even in perimenopause. But back pain, again, wide topic. There's so many things that can affect the back. Again, activity, weight, the same issues will affect, you know, body parts. Yeah, back is a really, really wide issue. Wearing the wrong shoes as well. You know, like women who wear high heels chronically and they're very happy, you know, with their back act. Eventually, they will develop some back pain because they're compressing their back at an unnatural angle. Then doing gym work like deadlifts. Yeah, and then you do to the rounded back. Eventually, you develop back pain. So many things can affect.
Do you know anything about sciatica, by the way? Like, are you familiar about the pain?
Yes.
Can you actually treat it permanently?
You can. It takes time.
It takes time, yeah?
It takes time, and it needs a lot of therapy. So if you walk into my clinic and I are diagnosed with sciatica, I will not work alone. I will involve physio,
of course,
or sometimes chiropractors. But it is very manageable.
Because I know I was diagnosed with sciatica. Yeah, but I'm managing it. However, I'll probably visit your clinic because I know you can give me more advice. Yeah. I still do the deadlifts. It's interesting. Yeah, very heavy deadlifts I still do. But I wear the belt.
And the flat shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the flat shoes.
I'm really wondering about these flat shoes. You know, like those flippers when you go diving.
Yeah.
Do your shoes look like that?
Those ones. Flip-flops. Doc, let me ask you. Just now, it's cool. Because I want to wrap up.
Okay, just final question. So I had a family member whose feet get really hot sometimes. You know, like she's burning, her feet are hot, especially at night. What causes that?
Again, hot feet.
Hey, those feet are mortal.
Burning.
It's just burning sensation. Like literally, you touch her feet and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? Yeah, her feet are hot.
Yeah, so nerve damage can cause is obviously the biggest cause for nerve pain. If you have an entrapment in the back, especially like L4, L5, it can cause things like burning feet. That's the most common one you see. If you have diabetes, sometimes it will cause burning feet. If you have some types of arthritis, again, you can get burning feet. If you have very bad fungal infection in the feet, again, you can get burning feet. If you wear very tight shoes, which compress the nerves in between the toes, again, you can get burning feet. If you have heavy metal poisoning, again, you can get burning. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
So again, this is why it's important to see a specialist.
Doc, let me ask you 2 final questions before we say peace. You know, I ran into this thing on IG, and this guy was like, oh, you know, if you work on your legs, your tree, because we call them tree trunks in the gym community. If you work on your tree trunks, you're going to have longevity. Strong feet equals longevity. Of course, there's other things like diet, but is that true? Like if you have strong legs and you're active, it's going to give you longevity.
Exercise, generally,
and
you will obviously increase your lifespan. Now, maybe the reason why people are talking about leg muscles, because they're the strongest muscles, they can grow really big.
Right.
You can get a lot of bulk in your legs because of what the muscles look like. So if your muscles are big, yes, you're likely to have a healthier life.
That's interesting.
Now, and unfortunately, as we age, we lose muscle mass.
And that's very dangerous.
So your posture will change, you'll start falling and stuff like that. You'll start getting sick. So we should always exercise. And
when you
especially
say we start falling, you mean we lose balance?
Yeah, you lose balance. Anybody, when you hit 40, really, I think you should get into weightlifting.
40. It's funny how 40 is old. When you say
It's not old, but you know what I
sound
mean.
so old.
Yeah,
No,
man.
you know what I mean.
Guys, you get to vote.
Because that is when a lot of problems start.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, and everybody everywhere should be doing some level of exercise.
Then they like to
We
ask
should.
that life starts at
We should. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Hit the gym.
Life starts at 40.
So you would advise, especially women, to do resistance training,
Yes, resistance training.
which involves what?
The weightlifting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Using the bands.
Yes.
Even body weight itself. Even body weight.
Yeah.
It depends on your health, your general health.
Okay.
But there's exercise for everybody. There should be no excuse like, I can't do because I am 500 kilos or whatever, or there is exercise for everybody, and everybody should exercise.
It's leg day all day.
Yo, man. Don't know.
Quote me on that
Kwanzaa on
story.
Friday. Now, quote
Quote
you.
me, man.
Yo, Joe, cut that part. Fridays is for the squats.
Yeah.
Doc, what's the most rewarding part of your job as a podiatrist?
Podiatry.
What I can say
Podiatrist.
Quote me as well. Anyway.
is, I would say about, depending on the problem that I am treating, I would say like 60% or 70% will walk into my clinic in pain and it will walk out pain free.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's a lot you can do on the bedside in the chair, which will allow you to walk out of my clinic freely with no pain or much more comfortably.
Yeah.
So it is very rewarding that way.
And the fact that you're just 5 in this country, Aki, you're so resourceful.
Yeah.
We are so grateful. You're adding so much value, Kwanzaa, to our listeners right here on Spice FM. Steph, you got one question?
Yeah, let me ask. There's a time where I came to your clinic and you offered me they're soles where the arc is lifted. So is that good for flat-footed people?
So you're my community also?
Yes,
flat.
sadly.
For functionally flat-footed people.
Yes, sorry, functionally, yes.
Yeah, you remember I said if you're a true flat foot, where your foot is stiff and it doesn't move, that's not going to help you. In fact, it's going to cause you more pain.
Yeah.
But if your foot is flat but it's movable, then the soles do help. The arc supports. And there are different types of insoles. Yeah, we have insoles and we've got orthotics. Those are two different things, and people confuse them. Yeah, if you have insoles, those are just things to cushion you. Orthotics are the ones that modify how you walk or support your feet. Yeah,
good stuff. Doc, what's your contact information?
Right, I am based on Gong Road, Paresia Center, and if you Google, you will get my contacts.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you'd rather not put it out there. We'll just Google you.
Just Google.
Just Google. Podiatrist in Kenya.
So-
She's already aware.
Dr. Sally Kariuki. Google her, guys.
Yes, and if you go to the podiatrist website, she's number 1. She's right there.
Awesome. That's really great insights.
Good stuff, Doc. Thank you so much for coming through.
Very
and for,
insightful.
of course, giving us all the knowledge that we need. Kwanzaa for UGP, very necessary. Can imagine. Thanks a lot, Doc. Sasawa, right now I can see it's 8:15. We're coming back with conversations, but first, a crazy mix courtesy of the brother DJ Josay. And you better be dancing with the Doc Alisama. Don't just be standing over there mixing it.
Yeah.
Movement.
My shoes are supported. Support.
Right now, guys, I've got some Thames Burning. And then, of course, we're going to get into a mix in just a bit. Tony Kazi, good evening and enjoy your weekend.
You played the best music.
More of the classics and the hits you love. Spice FM.